All right, so we have our bones. The next thing to do is to actually bind our drawing to these. So the way to do that is select. We'll do one at a time. So I'm gonna select the leg here. I'm gonna shift select the armature. We're gonna hit Control P, and we're just gonna say with automatic weights. The automatic weights you're gonna see are not gonna be perfect, so we will be adjusting these, but it's a good start anyway. So I'm gonna select this leg, this Control P, with automatic weights. Select this Control P with automatic weights. This arm, this Control P with automatic weights. Don't do the hands yet. We're going to do those differently. You'll see in a second. This to this, Control P with automatic weights. And so we'll do the head and the arms differently because the head I don't actually need to deform because it's just going to rotate on this. There's no neck. Now, if you have a neck or something, you might want to have something separate for that. So instead, what we're going to do is we are going to take the head, then I'm going to shift select the armature. I'm going to go to pose mode. I'm going to I'm going to hold shift and click on this. I'm going to specifically grab this one. We're going to control P, and what we're going to do is we're going to say parent to object. Let me see, wait. Oh, parent to bone. Yeah, bone. And then what that should do is if I select this, you can see it rotates the head. But the head itself, if we go into object mode, you will see it doesn't mean anything to you yet, but it has no modifier. So you'll notice like we have this as an armature modifier. That's because these are bound through the an armature. Okay, but the head you will see does not have that because it's directly parented to the bone itself. We're going to do the same thing with the hands. So select the hand, shift select the armature. Um, Go into pose mode, shift click on the bone that you want to parent it to. So this one, I'm going to control P and we're going to again choose bone. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So go to object, grab the hand, shift click the armature, go into pose mode, shift click the actual bone we want, control P and choose bone. And again, you'll be able to see that now I can move this hand and it just freely moves with it. I don't need any deformation on it because it's just that specifically um, moving, right? So that's a little bit easier to work with as opposed to this, which you'll see it's got some issues. We're going to fix this in a little bit. But that's how now the character is more or less bound, but there are some issues with the actual vaping. So let's go ahead and fix the weights, and I'll just start with the legs. I feel like that'll be a little bit easier to work with. One thing I'm also going to do is this. You may or may not. Well, we'll leave it as it is actually. So let's go ahead. We're going to go to object mode. Let's select the leg, and then we're going to go to you'll see weight paint mode. Okay. So the way that this works is click on the tool settings here. The way that this works is the actually, you know what? Let's do this. I'm gonna hover over on the top right here. You see these little like um let's see, like this. If you click and drag like that, you can pull out another panel. And then what I'm gonna do is what is this panel called? This is properties panel. So I'm gonna go over here, I'm gonna click on this, and then we're gonna switch over to properties. And then I can click on this, and then that way I can have my tool set up. It's a little bit easier to work this way, even though we have it down here, because I'm actually going to need uh, the where are you? Not this one. Should be in data. Yeah, I'm going to need this down here, the vertex groups. So, um, there we go. So I'm going to need this down here so we can see the bones that we're working with. Okay. So, the way that this works is basically the individual points are sort of parented to each one of these bones, right? But what you'll notice is when I go to bend this, it's not 100%. Like it's not a stark. There's it's a variation. So basically, when I have the bones up here, right, they should be 100% to just this bone here, right? The verts up here should be 100% to the bones here because to the leg one bone because that just moves 100% with it. But when I move the knee, some of it should move with the lower leg and some should move with the upper leg. So it should be like half and half because this is where the flexion happens. So what I want you to do is in the tool settings here, go to the options. I want you to choose auto normalize. What that does is it means when I paint value on one bone, it will take away from the other bone. Otherwise, what will happen is they just add on top of each other and it's a little difficult to work with that way. So what I want you to do is go to leg one. So now you can see, oh, that's what the paint looks like. Okay. and that looks fine. I want you to make sure on the brush settings you have a value of 100. The default setting should be fine. And what we're going to do is we're just going to paint this. So it's all just straight red. Okay. So paint that red all the way past the knee like that. Okay. So this is representing this bone here. Okay. Now go to bone 2, leg 2. And what we're going to do is we're going to paint and just keep going down like that. Now, right here is where I need it to basically vary, right? I need it to do a gradual. So I'm actually going to hit F to make this a little bit bigger because that way it'll have more of a fall off when I brush. See how the fall off's higher? And I'm just going to brush up until I get to where that knee is, something like that. Okay. And just so you get an idea now, when I go into object mode, don't do this, I'm just showing you. When I go into pose mode, if I select this, you'll see that now that knee just bends right there, right? And you can see when we move this, it just moves. Don't worry about the upper part because we didn't do that to the torso yet, but you can see the leg moves with it perfectly fine. So what we're doing is we're basically painting the parenting. It's kind of the best way to look at it. So we'll go back to object mode, go back to this, go back into weight paint mode. Okay. But I want to paint over them. Like I painted past this because that way when I paint back, I'm painting away from this. That way, like this bone right here or this joint here will be parented to this bone and this bone. So now scrolling down, go to leg 3, and we're going to get all up in here. And I'm going to have to make this a little bit smaller. And we're going to paint like this. Say something like that. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Actually, let's just go right past it. We'll go right past it like that. And I just want to make sure that it kind of blends a little bit right there. Okay. Now we'll go to leg 4, and this should be the tip here. And we'll just go like this so that it blends like that. Okay. And now what you'll see, if you go into object, select this, go into pose mode, you'll see when we go to bend these, right? That looks pretty okay. If you go too far, it will start to act a little bit weird. You can see it's having issues. And you can adjust the weights if you want, depending on how good of a job it does. You know, we're not doing crazy movements, so it should be fine. Okay. That's what I'm just going to do for everything else. Go back into object mode. I'm going to select this leg. I'm going to go into weight paint mode, and we're just going to do the same thing. So I'm scrolling down here. We're going to go to leg 1R, and I'm just going to paint 100%. Make sure I go past it, past the knee. And that way, when I go to leg 2 and I go up, I'm just taking away from the knee. So that way, only thing affecting these points on my drawing here are just this leg and just this bone and just this bone. So we'll go like this. And that's a little bit too much of a fall off. So I'm going to go like that. And then we'll just go right past it. I don't really care. Go here. And I'm just going to make this smaller. So I don't want the fall off to be quite that high. We'll go with that. Go to leg 4. Let's make that a little bit smaller. I don't want it to be that. Something like that. Okay. So now that leg is good. So then we just go basically down the line. So so we done both legs. So I'm just going to go back into object mode. I'm going to grab the torso here. We're going to go back into weight paint mode. This is why it's important that we name our bones, because otherwise it would just be called bone 1, bone 2. It'd be very difficult to know what's what. And we're going to scroll up and we will grab root first. You can see root's only affecting this because right now the leg's affecting this. Like watch, if we go down to the leg here, see how the leg was moving this part? I didn't want it to. But because the bone's right there, it makes sense that it's trying to. So it's understandable why that happened, but that's obviously not what we're after, just because we're trying to do a different thing here. So I'm going to select root, and I'm just going to go ahead and paint this. We'll make this relatively large, and we'll just go past that first one. So it goes past this, even though we're going to come back to it. We're going to spine 1, and I'm just make this smaller. Let's zoom in here a little bit. That, and then I'm going to go like this. We'll go past this guy. So that's nice and gradual. Let's go back here. Something like that. Okay. So spine 1 is like that. I'm only really worried about this because see how this is too far? That means that this isn't affecting enough. But when I go to that bone, the spine, this one, I'm just going to go past this and then I'll come back down. And you'll see when we go to this one, see how now it's only this section because I just painted it away. By painting this one, I kind of took away from it. So that's why I'm not super worried. Okay. Then we'll go to spine 3. And then this one will just be up here. And I'm just going to kind of cross like that. Good. Okay. So that looks good. All right. So that is that one. Now we just need to do the arms. We're going to go back into object mode, select the first arm here, go into weight paint mode, and we're going to look for, this is my left arm. So we'll go left arm 1. And this one did pretty good here. And then we just need to make sure it goes past, which it already did. So that's good. Go to arm 2. We're going to take this, and this goes all the way 100%. We're not going to have the wrist affect this one because that just affects this hand. So we'll just leave that as it is. So the only bending I really need is right here. Okay. Now, depending on how much you want it to flex, how much you want to fall off, you want to make this longer, and that will make it a softer blow. But I'm going to make it kind of discreet, so it's more like this, so the fall off's a little bit smaller. Okay. So that's the arm, left arm. Let's go back to object mode. Select this arm. Go back into weight paint mode, and we're going to look for right arm 1 like this. I'm going to get in close here, and we'll just make sure we're past it. That's fine. Go here, and then we'll make sure this is 100% down here. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller because I want a little bit more discreet like that. Okay, so now we'll go back into object mode. I'm going to select the armature. We're going to go into pose mode, and now you should be able to see that you can bend your elements here like so, okay? Might need to make some adjustments. You can see like that, it's a little bit off, okay? But this should all work fine. Here's the whole guy. This will bend his torso, right? Something doesn't seem right here. Why is that? What moves this guy? All right. Oh, this is on the wrong bone. So if you look, see when I move this, it doesn't move the arms. That don't look quite right. So we'll fix that. Um, and then you'll see we can rotate this and it looks good. Okay. So I'm going to undo all that. Let's just fix these arms real quick. So I'm going to go into edit mode and we're just going to take this one, and then lastly, this bone, hit Control P, and we're going to do keep offset. And that way it's parented to the top one like it should be. And that way when I go into pose mode, um, we can go like this. Now he's doing the floss. Okay. And oh, I guess the last binding thing we need to do actually before we do that is to bind the face here to this controller up here. So to do that, we have to go to object mode, select the face here, and then we want to go to the draw mode. Okay. Now, down in the data here, you will see that there is this relations section. And basically what we can do is parent these to that bone. And we're just going to click on this, and then it's going to ask for the bone, and then we'll click on that again. Actually, I didn't even select, which one am I grabbing? Nose fills, yeah. And, okay, we'll just type it in. What is this face? Well, I wasn't going to click on it. So face, okay? And more or less, we have to do that with all of them, which is kind of annoying. So I'm going to pull this guy up. And let's pull this down a little bit. And so nose lines, I'm just going to start typing in armature. So that pops up. And then we'll type in face like that. Okay, we already did this one. So we're just going to go right down the line, basically. Armature. And then click here, face. And then armature. Oops, I didn't put in the second part. Face. And then armature, face, armature, face, and then armature, and face, and then armature, and face. Okay, and I think that's all of the bits. So let's just double check to make sure that works. So basically what we did is we just manually parented them to that. So let's go to object mode. Let's select the armature, go into pose mode. I should be able to grab this. And yeah, now when I move that, it moves those pieces. Now I probably want to make some micro adjustments. You can see like the ear's not quite right because like I would want to like scale it and move it back. But this gives me enough of a little bit of a sway. But that's how you would basically parent the individual drawing layers. Okay. All right. So now our character is basically we have a skeleton and we have the as the armature, and we have it bound. Next, what we need to do is just do a little bit of rigging. We're not gonna do anything too crazy. Mostly, I just want to get these legs rigged.